Peace and blessings. I'm your host, and we are here in the 7th Raw High Club filming one of my metacasts, Evolutionaries. Now, we can all see society is evolving. The way we connect, work, socialize, and even dress is transforming daily. This is a metacast dedicated to sitting down with those that see this as an opportunity and dive into how they are evolving along with it. Today I have the privilege to talk with MaxxiMillian, a digital fashion designer, and so much more that I've had the pleasure to know through different spaces like Twitter, where she's always dropping gems. And I'm telling you guys, if you see her on Twitter, you want to hop in when she's speaking because she's always dropping gems. And that's even how we ended up here. So before we dive into the evolution of MaxxiMillian, let me give her a formal introduction, because when I've seen this on the email and that's her signature, I'm like, and she's MaxxiMillian all day, every day, I'm like, yes. So let me start there, and then we're going to dive right in. So MaxxiMillian is an NFT, music, and XR artist, founder of Super Kind DAO and Illest Antiques Heirlooms, where XR meets Old World. Her work combines fine jewelry design, and cutting-edge digital technologies with blockchain viability and the limitless creativity possible with augmented reality. Her work has been exhibited in real life at NFT NYC in New York and the iconic Temporal Vision Exposition in Vix Mesh in Times Square, Figure Glyphs by Searchlight.art at Times Square Edition Hotel, and in Beijing, China at Cathay View Art Zone. Currently, MaxxiMillian's art is being experienced in more than 15 exhibitions in the metaverse, including a second year in the inclusion of Sabet Stratosphere 2022 experience in a partnership with Spatial. And I'm telling you guys, that's the signature. That's her signing her emails and letting everybody know. And when I seen that, I'm like, this is again why we connect with these amazing brains that know exactly who they are and are not afraid to tell it to the world. So it's a pleasure to have you here, Miss MaxxiMillian. And I would love for you to introduce yourself and, kind of tell us about yourself to kick it off.
Thank you so much, Mo, and thank you for the glowing introduction. I feel really proud. It took me a long time to realize that I need to tell people what I do, or else I'm like a closed book, right? So so my name, like Mo said, my name is MaxxiMillian, and I always go by MaxxiMillian. It's something that is really important to me, identity. Earlier in the Twitter space, there was these people calling me Max, and I didn't want to be rude and interrupt someone who was in a flow to correct my name, so I didn't say it. But he kept saying it over and over and over again, and it was really so kind and sweet. And someone else who was in the room said, "Actually, that's MaxxiMillian." And I joked around. I said, "Haven't y'all seen Roots? Y'all ain't seen Roots. Like identity is so important."
They haven't.
And that's one of the. Right, and you know what? That's what he told me, and so I did. I shared. I said I think I gave like the most light-hearted summary of what I feel is one of the important themes, which is identity. And it's one of the things that I'm so appreciating about this beautiful environment that you've created here, Mo, because this makes me feel right at home, and our outfits, our avatar bodies and faces and makeup and everything is a part of who we are. And I just feel like this is the future. I'm so proud of you and what you're doing. I'm honored to be here. And I'm so glad to be chatting with you today. And I hope we can do it again. And I look forward to all that you're doing. Because you're obviously, I say you're on the bleeding edge, just beyond the leading edge. We're out there and we're up there. And I just love what you're doing.
Oh, yes. Well, I can honestly say I have been waiting for this moment for us to actually get together because, like I said, I truly meant it. Whenever I hear you talk on Twitter, I'm like, I need to talk to her, and we need to do some things, but you're on that bleeding edge as well, and we are always doing 1,000,001 things. But when I started this and we had that moment on Twitter, I'm like, MaxxiMillian, we need to actually connect and, you know, spread this message, because that's what's going to help us be successful, right? Actually being able to support each other and come together, and, you know, I have a spot, you have a story, let's come together and put it out there. And we appreciate all those that are watching, whether that's on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or Facebook Live, you know, watching this replay, watching this premiere. Make sure you follow MaxxiMillian, because again, she's always dropping those gems, and we're going to dive right into how she has become MaxxiMillian. So I would love to get started kind of what you were doing before you were MaxxiMillian and into the crypto space, or Web3 space, better yet.
Well, let's see.
And of course, you know, you can keep it as light as you like, but, you know, just tell us what you were doing before that.
Yeah. So I'm a professional actor, and I've been a member of the Screen Actors Guild for a long time. I'm a music composer, songwriter, singer, producer. Been doing that, again, professionally for a long time. And when I say for a long time, I mean even when I was in high school, I was a registered BMI singer-songwriter, even back in high school. And I would, you know, sometimes miss school because I was doing movies and these kinds of things. So before I was doing NFTs, I just wasn't marketing and putting them out there. You know, how I got into NFTs was, it was late at night, and finally I got an invitation to Clubhouse, because this was like in the early Clubhouse days when you had to get an invite to join from somebody who was already on there. And the first room that I went into was artists talking about NFTs, and it was just my luck. I was listening, and as I started to understand what NFTs were, I was like, oh, I'm sitting on a gold mine, because I've been making digital art for decades, but I didn't have a place to flog it, to sell it, to show it. I was just making it because it was in my heart. Yeah, and so this has been such a wonderful journey for me, because my whole life I'm one of those people where you know, I've received a lot of ridicule because people would look at all the different things I was doing. I mean, even when I was a child, right, and I was in Montessori, and I remember the criticism I received. It was like my very first report card, and like I loved it so much, I just knew that I was going to get high marks. You know, what kind of marks do kindergartners get anyway, right? But so when I saw the report, the teacher said, "Does not finish things," and I was like, "Well, it was done to me." You know, I've always moved around, you know, with my skills and my talents, you know, and it's been something that most people that I would come into contact with, especially teachers, you know, they did not see all of me. They just saw someone who was doing a lot of different things, and whereas now it's becoming well known that people who do all these different things have a lot to offer. Back at the time, it probably looked like I just needed direction, but they didn't understand is that I was following my own guidance, and it was independent of their ideas of what I should be doing. So when I discovered NFTs and I realized I could put together my design skills, my visual art skills, my music composing, everything, and put it all together in one art piece, yeah, I was like, oh, I'm home. I'm home.
Awesome. And you guys, we are going to go and check out her galleries over in the Nowhere Metaverse at the end of this. So make sure you stay tuned to the end, because I'm excited to dive into all of that, especially since my next question when it comes into how we become, you know, evolving in this space is what motivated you to step in that. And I think you just answered that, you know, Clubhouse and, you know, your teachers that didn't understand you. But was there anything else that really gave you that big push, you know, that you seen when you came into this space that was just, again, that motivation, like, this is it, this is exactly where I need to be?
Oh yeah, now this may be unpopular publicly, but I'm just going to put it out there. The money looked really nice. I love you know, I love that, and I saw that people were using their art to do really important things like donate large amounts of money to things like make clean water and, fund art programs in schools and just all kinds of stuff, because I realized that people were being able to donate to charitable causes at the contract level. So it didn't require, like in the traditional world, we have to make something and then sell it and then cut a check to donate to whatever. But I realized the power of crypto, that these transfers were instant and that the sales were instant, and we didn't have to finish a whole project to be able to cut the check. They're happening on the individual level. So when I saw that, and I saw the great money, and I saw people making great changes in their life, and I saw that people were empowering themselves and each other by not only creating art, but creating tools, because I'm also a bit of a hacker. I was one of those people in the MySpace days. People would ask me, they would pay me to hack their page and make it cool, make it do stuff that other people's pages couldn't do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like it just tickled all of my sweet spots. So yeah, it's been such a joy, and I'm still learning. Like every week, there's some new platform, some new tool, and I just, I'm like a jackknife. I love all of the tools.
Yes.
I love to use them all. I'm on all the platforms, all of them. So.
Right. And when you say that, I think that has always definitely been what that attraction was, or connection with you and I, where it's like, like you said, there's so many tools, let's try them all. When we first started this Raw DAO, I'm like, what, maybe we should be like a Yelp for tool testing. Like all of us just test all the metaverses and then give all of our feedback, so that when somebody else goes to try it, it's like, you can go look there just like you would trying a restaurant. It makes perfect sense to me. But because there are people like us that want to try them all, but there are others that are like hesitant. And so I love that courage that you exude, like you said, being able to see the opportunity to use all of your gifts, like every single one of them, like you said, even from high school and MySpace days and just even kindergarten, like you said, every single thing that has brought you here to who you are as a human to this day has also brought you to where you are in this career. And at this point of realizing, like, hey, all of those gifts that I have, there is a way for me to monetize that. Because like you said, it is an unpopular opinion, but you do need money in order to, accomplish bigger visions, and do different things. And so I love how it just empowers creators, like you said, and creates it in a different way to sell art. And like you said, you got your music and different things, and that's exactly what I want to dive into next, which is just what exactly that you're building now that you are in this space. Because I've mentioned your artifacts that are your heirlooms, and you've got your DAO and just a whole bunch of stuff. So why don't you tell us about what you are building in this space?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. I just got a low battery notification on my headphones, so I might have to plug in. Let me just do that now. Let me just plug in my new headphones, and I'll tell you this answer while I do that. So, one of my buildings, you mentioned the heirloom. So I have Awesome. So what am I building? So one of the things I've been really passionate and fascinated with is I love the idea of leaving a legacy. And so so I have MaxxiMillian's Illust, which is MaxxiMillian's Illust Heirlooms and Antiquities. And it was birthed from this idea of being able to hand over an heirloom, but while someone is alive. I was inspired because I read this story, and this family, it was their family tradition to pass down jewelry and different things, but it had to be passed down while the person is living, as opposed to leaving something for someone in their will. And I just love the idea of an NFT heirloom. Yeah, because blockchain art is supposed to be forever, and if someone has an NFT, and if we don't destroy the blockchain, in theory, we should be able to have an NFT and literally pass it down for generations. I mean, can you imagine inheriting like a Bored Ape? Like, imagine if we don't destroy everything, 20 years from now, what will a Bored Ape be worth?
Right. Nothing.
It could be astronomical, you know. And so I started to create jewelry, NFT jewelry, and especially brooches. And now this is where I'm molding together all of my things that are very personal and special to me. I'm a very woo-woo person. I love mysticism. I love the idea of crystals and healing things and the effect that these different elements have on our human bodies. Yeah, and so with these heirlooms, instead of making them with just diamonds and these types of jewels that we're used to seeing in expensive jewelry, I decided instead to use gems that have healing properties because I know that each piece of jewelry in my world has a story. I like the idea of wearing a brooch that addresses some area that needs healing or soothing or could use strengthening because we all have some deficiency or other, even if it's temporary. Just like, let me tell you a story. I have a friend and he's a bit of a wizard. And we were somewhere together, I think probably at an art show, and he really surprised me. We walked back to his place in Hollywood and he said, I want to give you something. And he went to this drawer and he took something out and I couldn't see what it was. He wouldn't let me see. And he washed whatever it was and he anointed whatever it was with some oils and he did all these things. And then he turned around and presented me with this amulet that he put on my neck. And he said that he noticed that I was getting a lot of jealous looks, something like this. And he said that he felt that I needed this protection. And he told me, pay attention to who compliments me on this necklace, and if anyone tells me, especially if someone says they don't like it, he said, stay away from that person. And I said, oh, that's so interesting. And sure enough, my boyfriend at the time, the first thing he said is, oh, I hate that, take it off. And I was like, whoop, your time is up, buddy. but I was so entranced, that this amulet had this effect. And then there were many people that they were drawn to it. People came from across the room to get a closer look at it. But he was careful to tell me not to let anyone touch it, etc. So he actually gave me a magic amulet. I still have it. And so I wanted to create magic amulets for people who want and need them, because knowing that, and it doesn't even really matter like about, believing in this or that. It was that this friend created an amulet in his mind for me, and that was the magic for me, that it came from this person who wanted to protect me. Yes, and so for me it was like, it was like I felt like he was with me when I was wearing it, and that might not be the kind of magic that it was, but that was the feeling that I had. And so whenever I wear it, even today, I feel that protection, and it does strengthen and it does embolden. It's kind of like when you go for a jog at night and you've got pepper spray or some lethal weapon, or that your hands are registered weapons or whatever. It just gives you a sense of comfort. At least it gives me a sense of comfort to know that I'm protected out in the world. And I love this idea of being able to carry an amulet with me and to take it to the next level. Speaking of blockchain, etc., these NFT jewels, I decided that they should be phygital because they are brooches and they can actually be produced in physical reality. And so I love this idea that someone could buy the NFT and then they could actually have the physical piece. And then I took it to the next level and I said, oh, I can embed my jewelry with NFC chips or NFC tags and RFID tags. And the reason why this matters is because an RFID tag, it has like geolocation, and there's actually a back end that can be available to someone. And so I could, if I wanted to, I could activate a brooch of mine to let people know who I choose where I am. And why this matters is because if you're like out alone in the world, or you're traveling, you're on a road trip, you're hiking, or you're just like whatever, the idea that your people, who you say as your people, can know exactly where you are and be able to find and locate you, that's magic, okay?
It is.
And I love, you're right, and I love, the idea of the NFC chips, because now this is the fun part, is when these chips are embedded in the jewelry, when someone takes, for example, my picture, it will initiate a filter. So for example, I have a brooch and the stone is purple. So I would embed a chip and I would program it such that a filter would open and like purple butterflies would flutter around me in any photograph of me that someone took when I'm wearing this brooch. So these are really fun ways that I'm playing with augmented reality and also geolocation, using the technology that we have to create something that is as close to magic as possible.
Wow, that is amazing. Yes, break it down, because that is amazing, especially when you talk about that magic. And I've definitely agreed with you when it comes to like that crystal magic. And it's like, even if, whether you believe in it or not, it's that reminder, that message, right? You thought of your friend and that protection and the jealousy and being mindful, thinking about how people are talking to you and what they are saying about you. And so I think it makes it very interesting when you then create that, and like you said, and then start showing it on every different level from there, like you said, from physical to digital, and then this physical one that also comes with that technology behind it and filters, and can keep building on it from there. So that's such an amazing project. And everybody, again, we are going to go to her museum to actually see this. Make sure you follow her on Twitter so that you can see it if you haven't before. And then aside from the digital fashion aspect or digital fashion aspect of it, I know you're also the founder of a DAO. So why don't you tell us about that aspect of your business as well?
Oh, thank you so much. So I actually am the founder of more than one DAO. I have Superkind DAO, which is it's something it's experimental, but I believe in it and I think it's perfect. It's going to be Superkind Studios, right? Because I'm a screenwriter and I love creating, and I've been looking for a way to work with people. I come from Hollywood, and it's very exclusive. It's not easy, especially for someone who wants to be a writer. I mean, things are a lot more open now, but still it's very exclusive, and there's so much talent in the world. And the question is, like, how do you give people somewhat autonomy? How do you allow people to join a writer's room? How do you reward people for their contributions in real time? For me, in Hollywood, right? When people are doing what's equivalent to a startup in Hollywood, it's a lot of deferred pay. And, it's difficult. You can't ask people to do full-time work on deferred pay. Because if we're prepared to offer someone deferred pay, we need to be prepared to accept deferred work. And,
right.
You can't build, you can't build like that. And so I feel like even if the big payout is later, because of course we have to sell a project and generate income in order to pay people. But I've always been I've always been hesitant to invite people to work with me because I couldn't pay them what they were really due for that kind of work, and I didn't have anything appropriate to give them as collateral for the sweat equity that they were putting in. And for me, DAOs really solved all of that. I used Colony to start my DAO because it made setting up bounties so easy. And setting up a bounty would be like, I would it would be almost like a job board, right? And it has like a token amount, like how many tokens do you get for this, for doing this. Maybe that means writing, maybe it's marketing, maybe it's putting in so many hours for legal, whatever it is. I realized that a DAO structure could really work to help me create the Web3 native scripted entertainment studio of my dreams. So Superkind DAO is for creating scripted entertainment and music. As I mentioned before, that I'm a singer, songwriter, producer. And so music placement is another thing that I invested into learning. And that's, again, another historically, it's been a very closed world. Very small number of music supervisors making the decisions for all the jobs that we want. And there's so many wonderful native Web3 tools that are happening now that I think is really going to change the game. And it's not going to hurt music supervisors. On the contrary, it's going to make available to them many of the world's best artists. Because I feel like the world's best artists are NFT artists, and especially when it comes to music, because we've got the tools. We're creating the tools. When you come to Web3, it's like if you're a musician, it's like the music tools that you're using, the Web3 native music tools are built by a musician. So they do all the stuff you need. And you can ask for things that aren't existing because we're early and people are building. So that's Superkind Studios. And, I feel like it's very exciting for me. So that's one. And the other DAO I have is, well, I have three. The other one is for MaxxiMillian's Illest Heirs, which is, for the illest fashion. And in addition to the jewelry, I'm also dropping some digital fashion lines, again, phygital. So, like, the digital is like an on-ramp to the bespoke physical pieces. And I'm also creating in VR, so I can make an outfit for us to wear on your plane here. So all of this is coming. And I love the idea of like investing in a company that I believe in, and so I wanted to make an opportunity for people who do invest in Illest Heirs. I want them to be the heirs to the empire that we're building, and because one of the other things that I think about is, what's going to happen to all of the things that I created when I'm not here anymore physically? And I thought, well, I want to disperse all that I've built among the people who supported me, and a DAO is the best way to do that. So that's why I created MaxxiMillian's Illest Heirs. And the third DAO that I have, and final, at least today, is I created the Museum of Robot Art and Fashion. And the idea here is I want to show off the robots. They're beautiful, and, humans are robot ancestors. And so I'm so infatuated with robots, especially sentient robots. And when this sentient robots started becoming in the news, I saw a lot of fear and, just dark ideas. And I felt so the opposite, because I feel like sentient robots are the evolution of humanity. These bodies only last so long, and it's definitely where we're going. And I wanted to show a different side of sentient robots. And so if you look at my robots, they have sass, they have attitude, they have feelings, they have emotion, they're dancing, they're twerking, they're giving you the side eye, doing all these very human things. And people really resonate with them. I definitely do. And so I wanted to, deploy these robots as a carrot to dangle, to entice people to lean into crypto, because you can only buy them with crypto. You cannot buy them with fiat. And I want people to be blockchain literate. Blockchain literacy, I feel, is really important. I want people to be financially literate. Financial literacy is very important. And whereas blockchain literacy is something that is exciting and curious for me, financial literacy is something that I struggled with, because I didn't have someone in my life to teach me about how to deal with money and all the powers that it has. And, this is a real art. And so as I learn, I want to share what I've learned. And I felt like the Museum of Robot Art and Fashion is a wonderful way to entice people to lean in a little bit more closely. And then when they say, how can I get a robot? Then the conversation can shift to, well, before you have a robot, you have to learn about, online security, and learn a little bit about crypto and about a wallet and why it's important to own it. So that's like my what is it? It's like a little surprise. Yeah, it's like here's the present, but there's a little something more. Mm-hmm. It's like when someone gives you a magic wand.
Yes.
But then they also give you the spell book.
Right.
So the robots are the magic wand, and the crypto education is the spell book, because with these spells, you can whip up anything you dream in your life.
Yeah, and you hit so many points right there, especially with that last one right there. That when I first got into crypto, I have like different intro to crypto courses on Udemy and different things like that, because of how important that education is and simplifying it. And I will always be like, well, first of all, crypto is like cryptic. It's a secret code. Like, that's what you need to first of all understand, even about it being called crypto. And kind of just starting to change people's mindsets. Like, you're stepping into that next level. Really start expanding that mind. And I love how all of the different DAOs that you founded and just explained, just explain even what a DAO is and why people were created, right? It's a different way to think about how you pass on all of your work that you've been putting, in every single day that isn't, something that's traditional. Like you don't have a CD or, whatever. I don't even know, because my family didn't have anything to pass down. I don't even know what families passed down. We didn't have any estates or anything like that, so that's one thing that even starting that conversation about having people focus, like, you have these gifts, you can use that and pass that on to your next generations as well. And so everything that you just explained, again, super exciting projects. I did have a question. What is what kind of robot did you say that was? I don't even know. Like, is that just the official name of a robot, just like Homo sapien?
What is a special kind of robot?
What did you say? A centennial robot?
Oh, sentient.
Oh, sentient. Yes.
A sentient robot. Sentient. It's like a robot that can express emotions and feelings, and it's not only a machine.
Okay.
It is artificial intelligence. It can learn and teach itself and evolve without being programmed.
Interesting. Okay. So that makes sense then when you said the backlash, because we've all seen I Am Robot or iRobot or
yes,
and
yes. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I see.
And that's why I say, humans are robot ancestors, and so there's no need to be afraid.
Yes.
We created robots. They are the next version of us. We're creating something. We're reaching beyond the expanse of our life, and we're reaching for something but this is good. This is part of our evolution.
I 100% agree, and I'm happy you even brought that gem in, especially here on Evolutionaries, because when you said that, I was just like, you hear these different trigger words, and everyone has different trigger words, right? But that's one of those for me where you say, humans are the ancestors of robots, and we are creating those. And I've seen things like digital immortality, and us creating these digital twins, and it being that purpose. And like you said, because bodies die, flesh dies, and you being able to create this next level, maybe that is it, and so that's kind of how you kind of start to desensitize and start to understand this whole vision on even evolving as humanity, right? The dinosaurs, hypothetically or theoretically, was here one day and now they're not. Or even if you don't believe in dinosaurs or whatever, there was something here before that isn't, or maybe there wasn't, or whatever the case may be, right? There's so many things that we don't understand, and just as much as we don't understand the past, there's even more of the future that we don't understand. But seeing these opportunities and how we can be a part of building that and trying that and creating that is why I commend you so much. Because like you said, you're out there, you're trying it all, and you are building that legacy and going to have something to pass down to those next generations for forever, for every generation after. That's going to be a part of history. Yes. And so shout out to you and all the other revolutionaries. Yeah, so great thing, everybody watching this. I hope you joined the space so that you can ask MaxxiMillian any questions after this premiere that we're having. But I did have a few more questions. So now you're building these projects, we all get in here. It's like euphoric. We see the vision. But, just like my avatar is still standing here for who knows why, technology is still a learning curve, right? No matter how much you have learned, just like you said, every single day there is still something new to learn. So I would say, what is one of the challenges that you've, kind of experienced while being in this space?
One of the challenges I've experienced while being in the space is actually dealing with my own emotions, because dealing with a lot of personalities. So I'm going to take my seat here. Dealing with a lot of personalities can be tough, because everyone has their own ideas about what's appropriate, how to treat other people, and crypto attracts all different types. People from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, and all different, modalities. And so there are bad actors in the space, and there are people who are looking to be disingenuous and rip people off. There are people who want to capitalize on the talents and skills of others and not pay them, or use people. There are all these modalities of people that we deal with. I mean, for example, like last week we had in the crypto world a huge blow up with FTX. And, we had this founder who was doing unscrupulous things with the money of the clients who trusted and invested in his company. And so, those kinds of things are really, they're heartbreaking, because sometimes you can do your own research and you can still lose. And those kind of mistakes can be really hard on a person, especially a person like myself. I have come to realize that I'm unnecessarily hard on myself. I have been. I've been unnecessarily hard on myself in some places, and I think it's something that we touched on briefly earlier, although we didn't speak to it directly. But there is like this fear of not making it, a fear of not achieving one's dreams, or a fear of literally not surviving. And so sometimes the mistakes that we make are not our own. There were very many very smart people who invested in FTX because, and this was a big life lesson for me, so let me share it, lest anyone else stumble over this down. It's not all black and white. Someone can build something really powerful and smart and amazing, and then also be ripping people off. It's not always bad people do bad things. Sometimes good people do bad things, and sometimes bad people do generous things, or they're generous for a while, or they're good for a while. And so it's been a real challenge to understand that I'm going to continue to make mistakes from time to time, but not to allow those mistakes to discourage me. I may get ripped off from time to time. I may fall for lies from time to time. This doesn't happen so much anymore, but before I die, I'm sure once more at least, someone may pull the wool over our eyes again. But that does not mean that I am stupid, and it doesn't mean that I made a wrong decision. If someone victimizes me, it doesn't mean that I did something wrong. And there are some things that happen that we couldn't control. And so when I've come upon these challenges, the big lesson I've learned is that I've got to get up, and I got to get up fast, and not to wallow in any bad feelings, to literally turn those thoughts off and move inward, and then move onward toward the solution to something larger than whatever this issue is that's plaguing me. And I really want to unpack that, because I think it's super important. It's like, let me give an example. So, for example, if I need money, right, I can work on the immediate problems of the money that I need. Maybe it's for rent, mortgage, car, insurance, food, clothing, a trip somewhere, right? I can work on solving these problems that are really close to me. However, if I zoom out and then say, well, it's true I need money because I need to survive, but what's a bigger project that I can tackle that will, by solving this larger problem, take care of these things that I need? This is what I'm talking about when I say move inward, meaning go into myself, go to my alpha, and then move outward and onward, solving a problem that's larger than just my own.
Wow.
So these things only one can do if we're not feeling angry with ourselves and sorry for ourselves. Like last year, I lost 90% of my liquidity, and it hurt because the market crashed, and it was one of those lessons I had to learn, which is when you have a large amount of money, there's certain ways to treat it.
Yeah.
And you have to move it around, and you can't always leave it in this coin or that coin, and to move it to a stable coin. These are lessons that in crypto everyone wants to DYOR. People don't like to give you advice, but sometimes you need advice. But because I didn't have an advisor, I hadn't found this information, I lost, and it hurt so deeply. It's like I felt so proud of myself that I had made an investment that paid me so big. But then, then I lost the money, and it wasn't like I made a poor investment and lost it. I just didn't move it fast enough to a safe place, because all the time I was researching to figure out, okay, how do I move it? Because when you have a sum of money in crypto, you're not taxed on it until, I mean, so I'm in
it,
America, so
yeah.
this is what's law for me. You're not taxed on it until you transfer it out of crypto. And so I realized that there was these laws. I didn't know them all, so I was trying to figure out what's the smart thing to do. And while I was figuring that out, the market crashed. And it was devastating. And like every time I couldn't pay for something, it reminded me of the mistake I made. And it just kicked my ass every day. And I realized, I said, it's going to be a real challenge not to hate myself for this terrible mistake that I'm not able to forget. And so that has been a huge challenge. And so that's what I have to say is like, it's so important not to allow the mistakes that we make or things that are done to us to affect the way that we feel about our own abilities to move beyond any obstacles. It's so important to love ourselves and to be kind and forgiving to ourselves. Each of us is dynamic, wonderful beings, and there's nothing we can't do as long as our mind is in the right place and we have love for ourselves and our hearts, and we put ourselves first. Another unpopular opinion, but there's nothing more important to you than you. And there's nothing more important to me than me. And anyone who doesn't think it's true hasn't had my life experience, because I am certain that it's absolutely true, because each of us only came here in our own skin, and we each have this one job. And the one job that we have is to enjoy and make the most of this life. And anything else we do beyond that, any other people that we care for, is extra. But our own happiness is very important, because if we are not happy, the filter through which we see life and the filter through which we make our decisions, well, it will be not having the same clarity as when we are looking through a lens that's clear, a lens of love.
Woo! This is why I told y'all, she's always dropping these gems that I don't even need to say anything about that. Like, what more can I add other than thank you? Because I felt that I got goosebumps, man. Like, just internalizing those mistakes, especially like you said, when you are due diligent, you have done the research, and then you still make mistakes, and then it's just like, it's heartbreaking, and you just hold it like, oh, how could I have overlooked it, or how could I have not done that, you know? But I love how even when you gave that challenge, you unpacked it, like you said, and went in depth about how you go inward to, you know, come out of that and that journey, and just evolving and using that as a learning lesson, right? Because that's all added to your testimony as well, because we've all been there and done that. Because now the next person that comes into the space and, you know, is there, you're able to say, hey, listen, I've been there. I understand what you're thinking. I understand. And, you know, here's what I did to get to the other side. So thank you for sharing that. And on the flip side, what is your favorite part about being in the Web3 space? What has been like one of those things that has just made you absolutely love it here and keeps you coming back every day, excited to learn and be a part of all of the craziness, despite how everybody else might think you're crazy?
The opportunities and the people, the fabulous people like you, Mo. And, you know, this is like the best to me. It's absolutely the best, being able to talk with people who are on the bleeding edge, who are excited to create, excited to build, people who we take risk on the chin. You know, even like, you know, this beautiful environment you've created, this was an investment of your time. You know, and none of us get these minutes and seconds back that we invest creating things and building. And you know, the metaverse is so new, and it's still incredibly challenging to get people to come to the metaverse. I was out at an outdoor shopping mall, and there was a gentleman who was greeting people at the door. And I was at Sur La Table. I like going there and looking at all the cooking stuff because I love food and I love cooking and eating and stuff. And the gentleman who was greeting people, and he was just making conversation with me. And he said, "So, what are you going to do when you leave here?" And I said, "I'm going to go to the metaverse." Because I had a date with my friend in the metaverse, just like we're hanging out here. And his whole countenance changed. And he said, "I don't believe in the metaverse." And I said, "Well, I'm glad that its existence is not dependent upon your belief, because I'm going there." You know, but you know, it's like it's difficult sometimes. It's challenging to entice people to adopt something, even if it's wonderful and new and beautiful and only good. So Yeah.
No,
That's my favorite part of this is being on the bleeding edge and meeting people like you who are willing to invest in something brand new and to make it better.
Yeah, yeah, I like it too. Because like you said, it is the pioneers, it is the builders in here now, and you are meeting a lot of really great people. Like you said, you come from so many different backgrounds, especially some a place like Hollywood, where like you said, you've seen it, and you want to make it a better place. And being able to meet people like you that see that vision, and like you said, you may not have funds to fund a whole team, but even just being able to come and support and watch, maybe one of your plays or something like that. Those different things, you coming onto this Metacast, and the 10 people that might be watching it, or shout out to anybody if they came and watched the premiere. Us at least creating these proof of concepts is what is going to also bring it into reality, because like he said, it's here, and they'll believe it when their job is here. 85% of people are going to be forced into a lot of things, just like they have been their whole lives, and you know what, they're okay with that. And I had to learn that people are like that, and that they're okay with that, and I have to be okay with them being like that. But just focusing on that 5% of people that see what's happening and want to do something different. So I 100% agree with you on that being one of the amazing parts about being in the space around other like-minded beings in here. And so I would love to kind of talk about the next evolution of MaxxiMillian, and what are some of your short-term and long-term goals, maybe one of each?
Sure, thank you. So short term, I would love to, well, see, it's really hard to compartmentalize, but I guess short term, I would love to see the first iteration of the Museum of Robot Art and Fashion. I have this vision of a pop-up museum, and perhaps maybe there's this wonderful company called Whim, WHIM, and they make these beautiful museum quality digital frames. And so I have this idea of, having a pop-up museum where people come and they see the art, and then there are some opportunities to learn about crypto. I don't know if you have a Coinbase account, but that was like one of the first crypto accounts I got was Coinbase, and I love they have these short videos where it's like, watch this short video about this particular
you
token,
get the crypto,
and then
yes.
They give you some of the tokens if you answer the questions correctly. And I thought, wow, this is really a great way to learn, and I was really motivated to get the tokens, and I thought this is a really great way to get people into crypto. And so that was kind of like one of my inspirations with the robots. It's like, oh, at the pop-up museum, it could be like, how do I get a robot? Okay, well, you can watch this short video to learn about a little bit about crypto, and when you answer the questions correctly, you can have one. So I think that would be like a short-term goal that I'm super excited about, is seeing that. I guess I always say to visualize the scene. So
Yeah.
The scene would be me with my first group of people in the Museum of Robot Art, a photograph of all of us. That would be awesome.
Ooh, I can't wait to see it. I can see it too. I close my eyes to visualize with you. I can see it.
Oh,
And
thank you. I love it. I love it.
of course. And you guys, we are going to go and actually visit the digital version here shortly. It looks like I can see under the clouds. We're getting kind of close, so stay tuned. I'm itching to see them now, and see the bots and everything they come with. So just one last question that I love to ask all of our evolutionaries here, because, even like you said, we are early. So I love creating this content and telling people, like, think about that person that sees MaxxiMillian's story and is, 2 years from now, but is still just as eager and wants to go and watch everything and learn everything. And, you get excited when you have a lot of content to watch, right? It's like your favorite TV show. Are you happy when you go and there's one season on Netflix where there's like 6 and you can really indulge in the content and understand that journey? And so I love asking, what is something that you would tell a teenager or a younger person attempting to walk down your path, or even somebody new that wants to get into the space?
Okay, I would say this might sound like so ridiculous because it doesn't seem directly related, but I swear I noticed such a difference in my life. Because of all of the emotional challenges that are in this phase, and I'm sure it will continue to be this way because we are pioneers, and pioneering ain't easy. It ain't easy. Even if it's regulated, I hope that doesn't happen in the way that some people are talking, but it's just not easy. So my advice would be have a routine that involves meditating twice a day for at least 15 minutes. This is really important, and it doesn't matter so much the quality of your sessions, but sit in a quiet place and turn off your thoughts, or at least, when I say turn them off, I mean don't grab onto them. So if something comes to your mind, just kind of let it flow through like a piece of popcorn on a stream in a river, something like that. And just allow everything to flow through you. I love doing this twice a day. What I used for years and years, I meditated once a day, and I'll be honest, I really didn't notice a big change in my life. I didn't think, this meditation stuff is bullshit. I didn't think that, but when I really noticed a change is when I started meditating twice a day. And I realized it didn't matter the quality of my meditations, because some days my brain is just very active and I have lots of thoughts, or especially if I'm going through something personal, some type of challenge, there's all kinds of thoughts going through my mind, good ones, bad ones, trying to problem solve this and that. It's very important to just sit and go inward, because I am not my thoughts. And it's really important to know this, because sometimes when we have these challenges, we can get so wrapped up in what to do or what was done, and that's not a place from which we can make good decisions or really initiate any creativity. So the number one thing I would say is meditate twice a day. And then the other thing would be to put your own intuition and your own impetus. And when I say impetus, I mean like your own urges, your own compulsions, to honor those. If you meet someone and you don't like them, don't force yourself. Even if they've never done anything to make you not like them, just honor it. Because there's something in each of us. We each have guidance, and that's been like my biggest lesson, is to trust my guidance. Many of the times I got burned could have been avoided if I had just followed my own intuition and been like, I don't like that person, but because they were polite and they hadn't done anything, I didn't move away. And eventually they burned. Every time I got burned. Every time. So trust your intuition, but also do your own research. And remember, and this situation that happened with FTX last week is like a really good example of this, is just because another person seems to have more knowledge doesn't mean that they know what's best for you. So these are my things I would say is like the most important things to know. That way, whether you're a builder or an artist or whatever, you will be following your own guidance, because there's nothing worse than having an idea and then getting into a space and finding out that your idea is not the done thing, or your idea is not the popular thing, and so you do what's not your idea, and then someone else does your idea, and then they get all the kudos, and you say, damn it, I wanted to do that. I mean, how many times have you heard someone tell their story about how they invented flavored sparkling water? Like, I've met like 100 people that are, like, I thought of flavored sparkling water. I wish I had done that. Everyone, a lot of people, they have these stories about ideas that they had that they didn't follow, and then they saw someone else doing it, and it was a wild success. So definitely honor your intuition, honor your compulsions, honor your impulses, as long as they're respecting others. And don't feel guilty when you don't like someone. Don't ever feel pressure to do anything for anyone. You don't owe nobody nothing. You're here for you. Do you, and be the best you can be. And most importantly, allow yourself to be the dynamic individual that you are. And this harkens back to me, doing all the different creative things, music, songwriting, hacking, all these things that seem like they're not connected. We each have a life path, and we may not know destination. Maybe we can't zoom out and look at the map. But if we follow our intuition and we follow our compulsions, it will all culminate in a beautiful life.
Wow. I felt like you were talking to me. My soul felt it. with that guidance.
Oh, I am.
Oh yes, I know it. I know it's that intuition. And hey, that's what it's all about, right? We never know why we're connected with each other and what that purpose is, but it's been amazing having you here. You've dropped major gems that are life-changing, honestly, life-changing gems to all of our viewers that hear that. Like you said, go for it, be that pioneer, because it is work, but that's where the reward is, and that's where the biggest reward is also. When we talk about that money aspect of it, is being early, and that high risk, high reward, and they say that for a reason. So thank you again, MaxxiMillian, for taking the chance and stepping here into the Raw High Club, telling us about how you've evolved and everything that you plan to kind of continue to take over. As I've mentioned, make sure you guys follow her on Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else. I will definitely drop those links below, because she is going to be taking over, as you guys have heard, and you don't want to miss that. So I see we have landed over at the Museum of Robot Art. So let's travel over to MaxxiMillian Spaces. Now, she is here in Spatial, but her home base is actually in Nowhere. So as you can see here on my screen, or the screen that we have shared, these are a few of the different exhibitions that she hosts there. And Nowhere is really cool, where it's very easy to see all of those different things. So once we kind of go through that, we'll see her portal here that we can actually travel to and go see the robots there. So I'll meet you there.
I'll see you there.
And to all of our viewers, yes, you guys seen, we were just in Spatial Metaverse, and now we are in Nowhere Metaverse. Now I am going to close the other Metaverse, just because, as you see, it is saying make sure you guys have everything closed out before then, and we are going to dive right in as soon as I get my video set up, because yes, this is a video only Metaverse. How different, how cool. 1 second, we'll be diving right in.
Flight crew, please prepare for landing.
And we are here in the Museum of Robot Art, and you guys see it's your girl Mo and MaxxiMillian to show us around and do her thing. And I'll let you take it from here, Miss MaxxiMillian. This is your space. Please take it away.
Okay, so here we are at the Oasis, and this is one of my favorite places to explore. So when you come up this ramp here, I'm going to turn around here and go up this ramp. So this is where I can go backwards. So this is where the digital fashion walk is, and so you can tap on each of these banners. Well, actually, you know what? Let me change my audio, because one thing about this metaverse is that it's spatial audio.
Oh, yes.
So I just want to make sure, if I get too far away from you, that you can still hear me. So you can click on any of these banners to get more information. Right now, it's talking about digital fashion. These are just like little examples of what's to come. As you notice, there's silhouettes, because it's just showing you that something's coming. So we can go forward here, and actually when we get up here, we can jump off the side. Yeah.
I was like running and jumping.
And so this is we're going to go underneath the ground too, so we can go around and we can go underneath. We can go underneath here, and we can also go around. So here you'll see like some robots. I have all the purpose of this space is, so my collectors, every month I give my collectors free robots. So that I do whenever I drop a new collection, the first 22 people, the first individual 22 people that collect, they are what I call the OG 22, and I want to always treat them because they're the visionaries, people who believed and saw the vision first. So this is a place where they would come every month on the new moon. I have an event here, and people can come and they can collect the robots. And how you do that is you would just click on any of these posters, and then when the eye comes up, it gives you more information. And then you can actually, when it's time, you can collect the robot. So right now, there's nothing showing because it's not time. Okay. But on the new moon, when people come, they can tap the robot and they can click a button to collect the robot. And so I do these as redeemables. And I'm a Nifty Kit artist, and Nifty Kit has all kinds of wonderful tools for artists. And one of them is this idea of a redeemables claim page, which is a great way for me to reward my collectors and give them access. So in this way, it's special because my robots are blind mint, which means that you just have a mint button and you really don't know what robot you're going to get. But so this is an opportunity to come and choose something that resonates with you. And I switch them out for each month. It's like different robots.
That is super cool.
And so let's go around here and I'll show you some more.
Oh, you're flying. Is there a way that I can fly?
There's a magic screen that I can use, and the magic screen, it takes up all the stage. And this is actually where I held a watch party for the Somnium Space Prague Fashion Week that you saw when you went to Somnium Space. So it's interesting. So like I'm a Mac user, and so for me, I was not able to enjoy Somnium Space because it's Windows only.
I know. It's crazy. Why do metaverses do that? I've seen so many that do it.
I don't know. They want to punish us. They want to punish us. You know, but so yeah, so I was like, well, gosh, I got to do something. And I said, I can't be the only Mac user. Yeah. So what I did is, you know, I can put a huge screen there on the stage. And so we streamed the Somnium Space event. And it was just like being there. The only thing that was missing was the champagne.
That is so cool because it was playing and it looked like you were there, but you were in this space. That is so cool. And that's why I love these different kind of interoperable builds, right? Because you can even bring this environment into spatial and have one of these there as well. And or like you said, be doing Insomnium, and because, you know, there's still half the globe uses Mac and Apple, you can be having that space here for people to actually watch. And I love how the metaverse brings that. Like, you've got your content creators and you've got the consumers, right? Because everybody doesn't want to be right here, but if you just want to watch, there's a place for that too, and a place that we can include that and incentivize and, you know, support that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what was really fun is, you know how when you're at a live, so at the Prague Fashion Week, there was like the runway portion where the models were doing this, and this is special because it was the first augmented reality fashion show in the world. So it was like somewhat historical, but it was really fun because there was like a presentation, there was models walking, and then there would be like a break. And like if we were there in Prague, we would go to the bar, you know, probably that's where I would be anyway. And you know, when they're done presenting, everyone naturally in the audience turns and starts talking to the person next to you. And that's exactly what happened here. When the show started, we were all in this space and we were watching on the show, and then as soon as they were like, all right, we'll be right back, all of us turned to each other and we started chit-chatting, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's working.
Wow, that is so awesome. And then it's so cool, especially in this kind of space where you're actually seeing the people, and it's a little different than other metaverses. It's like you said, you know, you're looking at everybody, you're looking around like, okay, well, you know, in the spatial, you join the conversations. It's set up perfect for that. You know, it's set, and especially that's why I love how Nowhere sets that up. Like, hey, it's just like a regular conversation. Like, walk up to people, start talking, and you know, it's just a good foundation for us to build on top of. And I love how you said they support that.
Yeah, and you know what else is cool too is that it's spatial audio. So like, if there were other people here, if you and I wanted to have a private conversation, we just move away from them and they wouldn't be able to hear our conversation. And the reason why that matters too is because if there's a presentation, we can have a conversation without disturbing people who are watching.
Yes. So important.
And beneath here, there are some private screening rooms as well.
Ooh, awesome. Did you want to show us around some more?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'd love. Yeah, we can go over this way.
I seen I did my tutorial. It's like if you hit shift, you can be a little faster. Oh, and I think I still lost you. Okay, there you are.
Oh yeah, I'm here. So more robot.
Ooh,
so when you go down, This is the entrance to the private screening rooms. So when you go down and you'll see, there's only so many ways you can go, but basically you're going to go down and then turn right. I'll show you.
Oh, please take the lead.
Oh. I should let you go first. Right here.
No, you should go first. Oh, okay, wait, let me see. Let me get my camera in here. Okay.
Yep. And then turn in there.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we're working
And
it
so,
out.
Yeah, so in here.
Ooh.
And so this is a private screening room, and if the screen is dark right now because I'm not broadcasting, if I broadcast, then the audio will also be taking over, and we'll have to talk over the audio. And then you can give this a click, and I'll follow you.
This portal, let's see. Whoa. How cool.
Yeah, definitely. And so I have another space I would love to show you that I think you'll really appreciate.
Let's do it. How do we get there?
Okay, let me, let's see here. Let's see how.
And that was so cool. So when you play the videos down in the private screening, are those spatial audio too, so it's only playing down there? Is that what you are saying when you're saying like this is exclusive like that down there?
Well, it's a private screening room because, you can't be seen or heard or whatever like that unless someone's close to you in the room. So it's private in the way that, someone would have to find you. It's not the same like you're talking out in the open in a group.
So the video audio is like that as well?
Well, the video, it just plays, the same video on the big screen plays down underneath in the private screen.
Oh, okay, I see, okay.
Yeah, and like when the screens come up, there's the big screen in the middle, there's the screens on both sides of this big one on the stage, and then underneath it also plays.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So if you see, there is a link above my head, so that's the link to get to the next place.
I did see it, but then it just went away.
It's okay, I can do it again.
Okay, great. All right, let's go. And we're off. Oh, we've been kicked out. Oh, because I'm in the space twice. Let me do that. Let me see here. Oh no, I lost her. Ooh, look at that.
Welcome to the Museum of Robot Art and Fashion. And now, I have to say, I think it'll probably be more fun if I let you see, and I'll tell you, and you can do it in preview at this.
Let me see. You said you chatted me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you too clearly there. I think I may have been a little too far away. Did you say you sent me a chat?
Oh, I was saying that if you want, you can lead and I can follow you so that you can see places, or you can follow me. What would you prefer?
I would prefer to follow you. I'm still learning and eager for you to lead the way and kind of explain as we walk and look, but loving it.
Okay, great. So first things first, these are the portals to my other metaverse spaces, and these are just some. This one that says to the moon is going to take us to the actual moon.
Ooh.
It's the super kind moon. We were just at the Digital Fashion Heirlooms and DVDs. It's another place. And the middle is another place that we can go. And I'll say that, and maybe when we leave here, we'll go to the middle because it's going to blow your mind. It's so incredible. So we can just drop through this hole right here. And,
Whoa! So cool.
So these are like some of the first robots that I created, and so these ones on the left, or my left anyway, these are robot nudes, and they're inspired by boudoir photos. And for any friends who are listening that's wondering, what's a boudoir photo? These are, historically, these are pictures, intimate photographs taken in bedrooms, usually in lingerie or nude. And so I love the idea of robots, robot nudes.
Okay.
So these are robot nudes, because, robots, they're naked a lot of times, right? If you think about it, these are some robot nudes.
I get it, and he's showing his jewels. I get it. I love what you did there.
100%. So these are some robot nudes, and here, just showing the different kinds of robots. These are all one of a kind, so there's no two robots that are the same. This was not a generative project. These are each one of a kind robots, designed and then designed and composed and hand embellished.
Ooh, so wait, you made all of these robots? Ooh.
Oh yes, and the truth is, I made over 4,000 robots. Yeah, over 4,000 robots, and I'm releasing them in cogs. So a cog is what you call a group of robots.
Yeah. Okay.
So these are cogs, and so when you see just like a picture, I call those portraits. Mm-hmm. And I came up with these different styles because, so like for example, on this other side, where you can see the whole robot, I call them figurines or botturines, where you can see the whole robot because they're miniatures. So like looking on the other side here, remember how we were talking and I said humans are robot ancestors?
Yes.
I came up with these. I had this funny idea that imagine if there was like a gap and there was like a time when there were robots and no humans, or maybe humans have been gone for so long that, I thought about this when I watched these shows where they're uncovering old pieces of pottery and old tools from, centuries ago, and we are like looking at bits and pieces, fragments of other people's lives, and we say, oh, this was a knife, oh, this was a bowl, oh, this was a hair comb or whatever.
No idea.
And so I have this very funny idea that what if in the future people or future robots, they come across human remnants and human things, and what if they don't get it quite right, and they reconstruct it in a way different than how we actually looked, which we must do sometimes. And so that's where I got some of these crazy configurations from. And also, the idea that just like with machines that we build, think about all the cars and vacuum cleaners and types of machines that we built that the model wasn't the best model, and so I thought robots too have an evolution. And some of our earlier robots, like even if you look at robots like sentient robots and AI robots from like 2015, they were not as limber. And robots today, they can jump, do backflips, they can dance, they can twerk, they can do all these things. But robots even 4 years ago, they didn't have those capabilities. And if you pushed one, it might fall over. Yeah. But it's not like that today,
It has balance.
We proved the design and mobility. So the Museum of Robot Art also celebrates this history that I've invented of, robots of the past, robots of the future, like that.
I love that, and I love how it just all goes to, it's so like on brand, like you said, with this being the evolution of humans, and then also, like you said, I'm sure we've gotten so many things wrong, like, I am sure, because they're always uncovering something, and, it works for us, or just like, some things work better for people. Now we're not like hunting for food, right? So maybe we don't need to actually use the frying pan to go like beat the animal, but we can actually just use it to cook the animal. Everything just evolves.
Or the vegetable.
Or the vegetable, of course. I know, right? Sorry, animal.
Clean fuel.
Yeah.
These are some interesting traits. Like, I love this idea of the photo bomb. So this is a robot photo bomb. And so these are like some of the more rare ones. If you get a robot, if you mint a robot and there's another robot in the background, that's a robot photo bomb. It's so rare. And if you tag me and you say, hey, I got this robot photo bomb, I will actually give you a second robot. So if you mint a robot and it has another one in the background, that's like a little secret, you get another robot.
That is so cool. We're going down. Wow. So fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it. You know, we can fly. This is a great place to blow off steam, too. I have a friend, whenever he comes to visit, he just spends the whole time flying.
Like,
really
let's just
beautiful.
let's go nowhere today. I love it.
Yeah, you know, it feels really good. I love the vibes, the desert vibes.
It does.
So here, you know, we have a robot dancing, expressing itself. I was talking about robots twerking. They're self-expressive. And another portrait. Yeah. And you know, we talked earlier about robots and figuring out what they are for. And I love the idea of robots being our constant companions. I mean, you can probably tell what this one's for, this pink one. It's kind of showing off.
Let's see. What is it for? That one that has its leg twisted? Is it like for running?
Of the other one, this pink one.
Oh, let me see. Is it for modeling underwear? I'm a really bad guesser.
I would say this is a robot for loving.
Okay, I got that. I was like halfway there. I'm like, is it modeling underwear? Like, you know, about to take it off and get a little something, you know?
Yeah, it's modeling its appendage. You know, this goes back to, like, I love this idea of, like, being able to choose a robot for, like, whatever our needs are. You know, some of my robots, they have a wine opener built into the hand.
Ooh.
For the people who love wine. Yeah, you know?
I love that.
So these are some of the eventualities.
I love that. And it's so funny. We actually just had that conversation on Saturday when we were talking about robots and, you know, the idea of drones. And like you said, having that companion, that robot that it's like, you know, the Siri, the Amazon Prime, all the things that we already are like baby stepping in there. But you're going to have that, you know, your own little robot that goes and picks up your Amazon stuff or, you know, is right here and all kind of things. Or even like you said, just looking at what robots are, like a wine opener, right? Because it doesn't even have to be like anything like we imagine it, right? Because these are no robots that I would have already imagined. Cool. No, this was amazing. I was just saying again how I really like again how you're even recreating like the purpose of robots and, you know, a one that's just for your wine and stuff. It makes me think very like Men in Black, but like robot instead of alien kind of thing. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Oh, so I don't know, how much time do you have? Do you want to see another space?
Yes, I'm clicking there. I'm on my way.
Okay.
And as you guys can see, we are hopping, portal hopping, space hopping, checking out all of that Miss MaxxiMillian is doing. Whoa, this is the base. Oh, you sound kind of far away.
Do I?
Oh, there you go. Well, you didn't. That's like, I think sometimes I'm just far away.
Oh, it's my microphone.
Okay.
It wasn't clicked by. So now this is really fun. This is one of my favorite parts. You're one of my favorite parts, right? Come on down.
Come on down. Let's see, guys. Let me zoom in too so you guys can enjoy. Whoa. Am I going down? Am I going the right way? I have no idea where I'm going. Did I go down? I'm so excited right now.
Yeah, you can only come one way. Yeah, so this is like a crystal cavern, little VIP area here, and I don't know if you heard about a few years ago that someone sold a banana at Art Basel, like taped to a wall, and it sold for a lot of money.
I did see that. I remember being home watching Twitter during the whole, like, everybody's there having a great time, seeing people selling bananas for crazy money, and it's just like,
Yeah, right? And so I thought that was funny. And apparently the builder of this place also found out humorous. Here's our banana to people.
okay.
And it's actually a portal, so if you give it a click, it's going to transport us to another part in this metaverse. Go ahead and give it a click.
This right here, let me see. I just clicked it. Let me see.
Do you see the banana?
Oh, I do see the banana.
Yeah, you
Okay.
see it. It's a portal.
Whoa, I see. How cool.
Yeah, so like these are some of the pieces that we talked about earlier, the heirlooms.
Wow.
And if you get close to it, it will animate and show you its secrets, reveal its secrets to you. And now these, you can click on these and you can learn about the piece. And if you want to see it close up, so you click on it and you can hit the square to make it big and take up your whole screen. And then you can hit the I for information, and it will tell you all about the piece. And if you were to click the button, it will take you to collect the NFT. So each of these different pieces has a story, and so the stories are there in the description.
Wow, that is awesome. I don't think I've seen that. Oh, were you just saying walk up close so you can see what it looks like close? I'm like, I don't see anything changing. Maybe I'm...
Yeah, so like this one, Will, you'll see.
Oh, yes, I see. Those are the butterflies. Oh.
They do things when you get close, yeah.
I see. Ooh. I love this. And what a great way to like end this metacast today by actually being able to see your pieces, see your spaces, see the robots. The vision all comes together. And again, I just love how you know, like you say, you think about yourself and your art, but you also think about the community and those that see the vision too, and how, you know, they can grow in their own journey as well. And I can definitely feel that energy here. So this is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're here. It's just such a pleasure to spend time with you. And gosh, you know, it's so refreshing to,
Yes.
you know, to make friends with someone who's like a sisterly metaverse, like, you know, denizen,
Okay.
you know, metaverse, like, to say queen isn't even, like, high enough, you know,
Okay.
metaverse goddess,
Okay.
deity.
You know what? You know what I felt earlier? I'm like, because my locks are doing its thing. I'm like, my inner empress is like really proud of how they have grown thus far. Like I put this do on, and I'm like, my inner empress is like, yeah, Mo, we've been waiting for you to get on this throne. Like, how you doing? And I definitely feel like you said that connection, right? Where it's like, you don't even have to say it. It's already understood, right? And it's just like, let's keep doing that magic and, you know, making it, because we already know, like, all we have to do is our part and the rest will be done, you know?
As long as we don't give up. Oh my gosh. Yeah. As long as we don't give up. Can I ask you a personal question? Not too personal.
Of course.
Have you found it challenging to bring people to your metaverse?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think the thing that Spatial does well is it's mobile friendly. So that's always like the biggest pitch. Like, hey, you could just click the link. Like, just click the link and join it, and then you'll be in there. And so one of the things that I've really learned or realized have curbed it with this past like month that I've been hard with creating these like different content in the metaverse is it makes it a lot easier, because now I can send a picture or a video and be like, no, see, this is what I'm talking about. And now we're in like a private jet. Or we have a lot of locations. My husband always puts like exotic cars and alcohol around, or like you see me at the gambling, right? You know, you see me at the gambling table. Yeah, you know, like we're trying to attract the people. Like, hey, you see what we've got going on, and telling people like, you can film music videos in here. And we're trying to get artists, and we have game night every Thursday where we play capture the flag in our stadium, and like, you know, like women, we have women in the metaverse every Monday in a tree house in Tulum, and like, you know, creating these different things that people get it, you know. Oh, and then men have men talk, and they're like, our environment we created for that is a chessboard, and they're in there playing chess. So, you know, again, just trying to like, you know, just create these things that people see and they're like, wow, what is that? And then we stream it live. So when we're streaming, there's like a tweet that just shows, and you can actually like scroll past it, and you'll be watching us live in the metaverse. And it's like you're watching it, and you can click this link and you'll be right there. And so you know, it just takes that persistent and consistency to say, hey, my views are slowly getting up. You know, I got about 2 people that watch each one now, and it's like, you know, that's something, you know. And I'll get to 10 and then 20, and then, you know, this is the time to be building though. And so, you know, we have a whole DAO too, where, you know, we have musicians and digital artists where they all have their own spaces too. One lady, she does belly dancing, and she has Fitness Friday. Yeah, and so this Friday we actually are going to be doing belly dancing in the metaverse, and it's really cool because she'll play her video, and, you know, we're all at home and watching it and, you know, doing it together. And so, you know, just trying to find these different ways, different people. That's another example for someone else, and just like showing them, because I feel like I can say a lot of words. Like, I mean, look at how many words I literally just said. I can go on and on too. So, you know, having a picture that says those 1,000 words that you don't have to, where it's just like, do you see this? Like, stop playing. You know, more producers jumping in the space every day. That makes it easier. But, you know, people still have their excuses. There's still IRL and a lot going on, and, you know, they're tired, and, you know, whatever the reason is going to be, that's going to be, you know, they're going to have a reason. So I try not to be the persuader, and more so just put it out there, and those that do get it, it's like, yes, now let's just keep building then. I just want that one that does get it every day.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you shared that. I was just so curious because, I was just wondering about that, because that's been my experience too. And I have made videos and tours and things like that, and I love to show people the space. But, you know, I've just, some people, when they see it, it's beautiful, but I think they don't understand that there doesn't have to be a reason. It's okay to just come and fly around and blow off steam.
Yes.
And just relax. And I think a lot of times people wonder like how it fits into their lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I think that's largely too because people have their places where they go for socializing.
That's right.
And this, I think for us, meaning like us metaverse denizens, it's going to be about creating events and then inviting people around these events where you know, we have to just really give people a reason to come, because as much as we enjoy it and you know, you can come and blow off steam, especially because it's a bear market, I think people are, they're looking for a leverage, they're looking for something like that, and I really feel like that's where the metaverse excels.
It is. Especially
as, you know, there's lots of, sadly, there's a lot of turmoil going on in the world, and it's not possible for people to travel, but that doesn't mean we have to be far apart. So I feel like what we're doing is so important. And I hope that you will continue to persevere and do your thing, because what you're doing is so beautiful.
Oh, I appreciate that, and I agree. I think that your skyboxes, the experiences that you have, you know, just by falling down, you know, openings, or, you know, going down ramps, it does give you that. Like you said, you know, just come in here and fly around. You know, I like you said, I enjoyed it, and I think it's getting people in here to do it that first time, and they'd be like, oh wow, that was fun, you know. So much where now when I'm on Space, you know, again, they have like a mobile app, so I scroll through it to look at all the spaces just like I would Instagram at this point, right? And go explore different galleries and different things like that. So I think, you know, accessibility, it's about to be Christmas. I think a lot of people are about to be getting this new technology. I think as technology advances, you know, of course, everybody that put in a lot of money is going to want that return as well. So we'll have that machine kind of on our side, like, hey,
definitely
go put this on and get in the metaverse. And so I think we'll be in the right position right now. And we're just all, we have our storefronts open, and, we have the education, and just waiting on the people that need what we are creating.
Yes. And the people who don't know they need what we're creating.
Especially those people.
Yeah, but hopefully they'll come along, because I think it's a magical place for everyone.
It is.
And it's really important to be able to feel connected, and so that's why one of the reasons why I think nowhere is so special, because you can look into my eyes.
I know, I'm looking at you, and it's really cool too, because you can't see yourself, right? Because I keep looking at myself like, oh my God, what is MaxxiMillian looking at me like? What do I look like, right?
Oh, yeah, you can hit the V key on your keyboard to see yourself.
Oh yeah, I would, but I've been kind of testing this. I don't want to be here looking at myself. I just kind of want the screen and your space and you, and let this be your spotlight, and kind of enjoying that, right? And letting it be that still aid on where, I'm not being subconscious, because especially when you go from that old space of Instagram Live, where I kind of have first started a year or so ago, trying to connect people in this space. And having to be like, oh, I got to do my hair and my makeup before Instagram Live, and and then feeling silly
because then makeup, I just throw a filter on, that dog filter or something. No, I'm just kidding.
Says I think I started a little too early before they had the real nice filters. They were still, like you said, dog filters, and it's I'm gonna do my, and I'm very natural as well. So it's some days are rougher than others, and it's it's just a part of that building a brand, polishing, and finding things that work. Because I don't want to wear makeup. I'm not going to. And I like being able to, like you said, throw in a filter or come in here in the avatar. And I think more people will see that and see how, hey, they can still be their introvert self, but come into a space like this and flourish and connect with others that are, they like robots as well. So they all go to the museum of robots and meet others that like robots and, watch cool content and build stuff, and all in a community and connected, and, stay connected. I think that was a great word that you even said, to just bring on the importance of that. We're connecting with nature, tech, humans. This is the place that we get all of that done.
Absolutely. And I think it's really so important too, because it's accessible for most people. It doesn't require this space. You don't have to download anything, and you don't need goggles and whatnots. But I'll be honest, I would love to be able to just navigate, with my body, and you know what I mean? I'd love that experience too, but I'm a Mac girl, and I just want to stay that way.
I'm sure Apple has their stuff coming out too, so don't you worry. And I'm the same way. I'm kind of I'm a hybrid. I like physical too, and I like digital. So I kind of like having barriers that I don't want to cross too much. And I think I I don't want to go VR all the way all the time kind of thing. I like me kind of zooming in and first personing is enough for me, where I'm oh wow, this is kind of cool. I feel like I'm in here, and then I can turn off my computer, disconnect, and still have all my data to myself. But we won't go too far down that rabbit hole. It's just,
That's the currency of the day, or actually the currency of yesterday.
The currency of the lifetime that we're moving into, So it's just something I try to protect, and, just being educated in the space is just knowing what you're willing to give. And I'm willing to give my time. I'm willing to give education, effort, a lot of that, but still respecting that mind, body, soul entity that is here in this physical, in a way.
Yeah, it's funny, you reminded me of an experience that I had where I was initiated, and I had an existential experience, and I haven't been the same since, and I want to tell you what it is, because I think it's very relevant to this moment. I haven't really shared this, but I just feel compelled to share it. And what happened is I had the experience where I was able to... Now, I just want to let you know, this wasn't a dream. And I was in person. This is something that actually happened in person. It's not a story or in any way embellished.
Ooh.
But I, for a short time, I was behind the mask. So I could see the holes of my eyes, and very clearly I was behind looking out, and I could see the darkness of what's inside here, and I was looking out through the eye holes. You know how when you talked about zooming out and then zooming into first person. So I had an experience where I zoomed out and I was no longer in first person, but I could see through the eye holes, but I could also see the darkness around the eyes that I look out of, and I never forgot that. And I said, wow, I am an entity inhabiting this body. It only happened that one time, but I'll tell you, the thing that I really wanted to do, and I started to do it, but then I got afraid. I wanted to turn around and see what was behind me. But I was afraid because, I almost did. But I was afraid because I thought, well, if I turn around and look behind me, what will happen to the body? Will it just crumple to the ground? I didn't know, so I didn't turn around, but I really was so curious.
How intriguing. And it's funny that you say that. I have seen, again, just like how we kind of said, there's certain things that stick out to you. I had seen this picture of the brain, and how it kind of, has this like thing in the middle, and, goes down your whole spine, and we don't have to go into the dirty details of our anatomy, but I seen that, and I never forgot it either, and then the caption was like, imagine like the breath of God like breathing through your nose, and like it's a whole, I felt exactly what you were saying, where it's like behind your eyes, and just that inner guidance that we've continued to talk about this whole thing. And being able to zoom out and see that, even big picture, right? When we talk about our bodies are going to go away, but that entity isn't, that being, that spirit, that energy isn't. It's just going to transfer to elsewhere. And,
like zoom it out.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Oh, well, what a gem to leave that on. I think that was a great way to just end this amazing episode of Evolutionaries. Y'all hear how it goes down. I've been warning you guys about MaxxiMillian since we had this, because I was telling you guys, this is how it is every time she speaks. So it's been a great honor to have you on this meta series, and I'm excited for all that we're going to accomplish together. Definitely supporting you. I'll definitely be back to get my bots on the 1st of the month, and just excited to see you grow in the space and conquer everything that you deserve and more.
Oh, thank you so much, Mo. And I hope you know that you can call upon me. I'm happy to help you in any way I can, whether it's to amplify or create something, or co-host a metaverse party, or bounce some ideas, whatever it is. I hope you know that I'm a supporter of yours, and you can call upon me. I appreciate so deeply everything you do, and I wish you so much happiness.
Awesome. I received that, and it is mutual. And you guys hear that? We are going to do all of that. We're going to have some epic meta party. I heard you just drop in there, and some more. So definitely be on the lookout, and make sure you guys are following. Okay, follow, because that support is free. Follow, like, retweet, support, because like we said, we're not going to stop until we achieve it all and more. So thanks again for watching.